I'd like to welcome, zooming in on the radio, we have Charles Fuschillo Jr., who is the president and CEO of Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Charles, nice to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me. Good talking to you.
I appreciate you zooming in this morning. I know that you're a busy guy, but you guys do have a great, a webinar coming up, or a series online that will be happening in about a week or so, week and a half.
Yeah. September 14th,
Wow.
from 10 a.m. to 12:45 p.m., we're going to be holding a Alzheimer's and Caregiver Educational Conference. And if it wasn't the pandemic, we would physically be in your state, but we're doing it virtual, and individuals can go to our website. It's free. Go to our website at alzfdn.org. Just go to the events calendar tab, click that down, and register.
So now this event, obviously you said it's free. Alzheimer's itself, what is the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Great question, because there's so much confusion about that. Alzheimer's itself is a disease, while dementia is not. It's a combination of symptoms.
Oh, okay. So what's the percentage of people in America that suffer from Alzheimer's?
About 6 million people are living with Alzheimer's disease. In your state, about 26,000 are living with the disease. So, Stephen, you may say to yourself, 26,000 people in New Hampshire, that's a lot. Use a multiplier of 3 and 4 as a caregiving team. Now you're looking at 100,000 people that this is affecting.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really prevalent in your state. Think about the country, more than 6 million people living with the disease. Use that same multiplier of 3 or 4, and you can see how many millions of people this disease affects. And that's why we do these conferences. This is part of what we call the Educating America Tour. It's a nationwide educational initiative to educate people about Alzheimer's disease and let them know they can turn to the Alzheimer's Foundation of America for support, guidance, and counseling, because you can't go on this journey alone.
So, and you don't know my backstory. My grandfather got Alzheimer's young at 53. And I know that some get it young, some get it at the tail end of their lifespan. This is a disease that can really get somebody, 30s, 40s, and older?
Yeah, absolutely. And normal people think this is a normal part of aging, and it's not. How it affected your grandfather, that's young. And we've dealt with families whose loved ones have been in their 30s. And, think about that. This one family, 34 years old, the father and husband, the kids were 9 and 10. So they're coming home from school and they're not going out to play. They're helping mom be a caregiver. And that's part of why we do these conferences. And it's, for everybody, all ages, because you're never too young or too old to learn about Alzheimer's disease or caregiving as well.
Now, is Alzheimer's hereditary, or is it just randomized, or how does this work?
No, it's not. People also ask, is it genetics? Genetics play a very small part, but it's lifestyle, it's environmental. It's people forget what you put in your body. We know affects our body, but it also affects your brain. And we always tell people, choose a healthy lifestyle. Hey, Stephen, this is like what we learned in elementary school: exercise every day, eat right, don't smoke, don't drink. You got to carry that through your entire life, and you have to, you have to also exercise your brain as well.
So how do you do that? How do you exercise your brain?
So stay socially active.
Okay.
But little things like, what's your dominant hand, Steve? Right hand or left hand?
Yeah, right hand.
All right. So think about like tomorrow morning when you get up. Instead of brushing your teeth with your right hand, use your left hand.
It sounds awful.
Especially if you have an electric toothbrush. Such a simple thing you think of, but now you're reprogramming your brain. Use your less dominant hand to put your clothes on. Use your less dominant hand to eat. Think about things like that. Challenge your brain with puzzles and games. Have a purpose every morning to get up and do something. Stay active. And I got to tell you, one of the best things to do, ballroom dancing. Because from head to toe, you have to think about every step of every movement that you have to do. So what you're doing is you're exercising your brain. But we have a lot of tips on our website, which is alzfdn.org, that people can go to, and you can choose a healthy lifestyle.
Now, I know that your brain changes with Alzheimer's disease. What are some of those changes that happen?
Memory loss, inability, to perform simple functions. I always say that, if you lose your keys, most people throw this word out, I have Alzheimer's disease. When you find your keys, if you know what they're for, we're good. You don't know what they're for, then you have to start, thinking about what's going on. But if you're experiencing memory loss, disorientation, confusion about time and place, forgetfulness about people you just met, their names and things you've done, that's time for a memory screening. And we perform that at AFA free. 3 days a week by appointments. It's virtual. It's a series of questions. It takes 10 to 15 minutes of your time. I encourage everybody to what we call a checkup from the neck up.
Okay.
I encourage everybody to get that. And you can do that by just calling our office, Stephen, at 866-232-8484.
We're talking to Charles Fuschillo Jr., who is the president and CEO of the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Now, when a family, and I do say a family, goes through Alzheimer's, because it doesn't just affect that one individual, there's a ripple effect with the spouse and the children. There are some legal and financial issues that come into this disease.
Absolutely. And that's what this conference is all about. So we kicked the conference off with, Dr. Saspin from the University of New Hampshire, and he's going to talk about brain changes in Alzheimer's disease in relation to treatments. And then we go into the next subject, which is Daniel Craig, and he's a certified elder law attorney, legal issues and financial issues to deal with Alzheimer's disease. And, when the individual that you're concerned about is able to participate in the decision-making process, that's really important as well. And then we wrap up the conference about a caregiving journey, personal stories, but also tips that can help individuals get through this journey. And that's what these conferences are all about. Listen, Steve, education empowers people, knowledge empowers people, but to know where to go and know where to turn to for help is so critically important when it comes to this disease. We're also going to have Dr. Oz on, who's a special guest. Yeah, and he's going to talk about healthy living, brain health and wellness tips as well. But he's also going to talk about his own personal journey with his mom, who is living with Alzheimer's disease. And he's going to talk about what his family's going through as a caregiving team.
So this is going to be happening on Tuesday, September 14th from 10 a.m. until about 12:30 or so. And it happens on Tuesday, September 14th. So you say it's free. What's the best way for somebody to sign up to be a part of this virtual seminar?
Just go to our website, which is alzfdn.org/tour, or they can call our office at 866-232-8484. Stephen, I got to tell you, good news. We already put this out a few days ago. We have more than 150 residents that have already signed up in your state. So hopefully we'll get as many as possible. And, this is just 2.5 hours of your day to learn about this disease and learn about the services that we provide at AFA.
So how did you get involved in this? Are you touched by it yourself?
So, I was a former New York State senator here in New York. Yeah, our office is based in New York, and I've been the president and CEO for the last 7.5 years. And I was asked to come on board when they did a search. And I just looked at the organization and all the good that they do and support that they provide throughout the entire country. And it was an easy transition for me.
And I'm sure that you've seen and been a part of so many touching stories.
Yeah, my uncle passed away last year from Alzheimer's disease. Contracted COVID, and it was terrible. Too many close personal friends, mom and dads, aunts and uncles, and grandparents have passed away from this disease. So, I do have a personal connection. But if you ask anybody, do they know somebody that has this? Most people will raise their hand. Mm-hmm. And that's what these conferences are all about. Let's educate people about Alzheimer's disease, brain health and wellness, the legal issues, the challenges you're going to face as a caregiver as well.
Now, where are we at on the medical side? Are we getting closer to figuring this out, to fixing it, to slowing it down?
Love to say yes, but that's the hope we always give with the research. And there's probably 2,000 trials going on in this country right now for better treatment and a cure. Keep our fingers crossed, and we keep funding research while we're providing support for caregivers and education as well.
Here in Newport, we have a place called the Seasons at Summercrest, which is a dementia Alzheimer's ward building, and we get people in here every once in a while talking about it. And I've learned a lot about like short-term memory versus long-term memory, and how some with Alzheimer's will be able to talk about what happened in their teens and their childhood, but they can't remember yesterday.
Right, exactly. And that's why, if people are experiencing that, we always say to individuals and family members, don't be in denial, because so many, people come back to us with common phrases. Oh, he or she is just getting older. Really what they're doing is covering for the individual. We say address it immediately. Call your primary care physician, because, not all memory loss is attributed to Alzheimer's disease. You could have a vitamin deficiency, a thyroid issue, sleep apnea, alcoholism, depression. These are issues that can be treated and corrected and dealt with, that can help you with your memory and your lifestyle, but you won't know unless you address it.
So now, for somebody to take that 10, 15-minute memory screening, what's the best way to do it again?
Just call our office here at 866-232-8484. Make an appointment any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday with our staff. It's confidential. It's just a video conference between you and our professionally trained staff. We don't document anything. We don't record anything. It's strictly confidential. You get a score. After you get a series of questions, 10 to 15 minutes of it. If you score above the baseline, we tell you to let's take the test again in 6 months or a year. If you score below it, we'll make certain recommendations that you should do. Primarily visiting your primary care physician, but we'll make other recommendations as well. Since we started this initiative of in-person screenings, but since the pandemic, we've gone virtual. We've screened more than 5.5 million people nationwide.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So you know what, Stephen? After this, give us a call, make an appointment. You got to get a screening.
I know, right? Well, it's funny. So I had talked about this on the air a couple days ago. The other day, I couldn't remember how to write the letter E.
Okay.
It kept coming out as a 3, and I kept trying hard. Like I felt like I was running in water. That slow running, and I've never had that happen before. So, I go down this rabbit hole. My grandfather had Alzheimer's, and, do I have this? Is this the beginning of the end for me? Am I going down? So that letter E is like the bane of my existence right now.
It's a baseline for you, and you should, seriously, you should talk to your primary care physician.
Oh, I've been talking with him.
There you go. It's the best thing. Just because a family member had it does not mean it. And as I said to you, stay active, exercise, be socially active, engage yourself. Look, your profession, you're always engaging people every single day, and that's healthy.
Now, I can't always remember to get the milk when my wife asks me to. Is that a bad thing?
Normal.
Okay. All right. All right.
Listen, I've gone shopping with the list that my wife makes out for me and my children make out for me. You get distracted. Look, we're overloaded on the news. What we hear about today, right now, as we speak, is old news in print tomorrow. There's almost so much that we can absorb in a given day.
Mm-hmm. Talking to J Fuschillo Jr., President and CEO of the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Their free virtual Alzheimer's education conference for New Hampshire residents happens on Tuesday, September 14th from 10 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. It's part of a 2021 National Educating America tour and allows participants to learn and ask questions about health, caregiving, and legal experts. The website is alzfdn.org/tour to sign up. Charles, anything else to get on?
I just encourage everybody to come on as long as they possibly can. It takes 2.5 hours of your day. It's critically important that you learn about this disease and know that there are services that AFA provides. And I thank you, Stephen, for having me on.
Oh, you bet. I appreciate you taking time out. And again, the phone number is 866-232-8484 if you would like to take that 10 to 15-minute memory test. Charles, thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks so much. You as well.
You bet.